Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back to the Sunday recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a little bit about the games I've played in the last week or so. And let's start with EVE Online. It's once again been a pretty interesting week in EVE Online. First of all, on the test server, we had the mass test. That was a lot of fun, especially flying and losing a Titan was pretty damn cool. We also have the engineering complexes that have been deployed on CC, so I have a few of those anchored and I'm ready to do some testing in those as more modules, rigs and stuff gets deployed on CC concerning these engineering complexes. There's also a lot of stuff that we can still look forward to on CC, like the new player experience and the changes to the Rorcal and the Orca and things like that. I definitely want to fit an Orca in different ways so that I can see what kind of boosts I can give, what kind of yield I can get. There's still a lot of testing to be done and there's just a little over 2 weeks left until the expansion, so it should really all come out in short order. On TQ I've done quite a few of those Crimson Harvest sites. I haven't really gone hardcore. I think I've done maybe 30 of them or something like that. Got a couple of skins. I only found one battleship in all those sites, so that's a little bit unfortunate. That drop rate seems to be very low, but excuse me, but it was pretty cool. It's definitely a fun event, and I think the fact that these skins don't drop in every single site actually keep you a bit more interested, because I think it's very hard now to gather all the skins on your own just by doing the site. So I think it adds a little bit more competition. The boosters is also a nice little bonus, and it basically has a bit more incentive to keep doing them. So whenever I do log into EVE Online, I usually do my trade stuff, my research stuff, my contracts and things like that, but then I jump in the Gila and try to do a few of those Crimson Harvest sites. Definitely fun. On the trading and research front, I've mostly been improving a few blueprints, so I don't have new blueprint copies to sell, but that business is still running, although it is of course ending at the moment, because after the expansion I'll have to take down the boss, then I'll need to see what kind of research I want to do next. In fact, I still need to buy some blueprint originals to actually start doing some more research and get more production going. But I also sold several Plex in this time, because we went well over 1.2 billion. And that means I'm starting to make profit, and that also means that I've started to slowly sell more of my Plex. Next aim is 1.25. Once we go over that, I'm selling a few more, and then 1.3, that's when I'm really, I think, starting to sell off most of my Plex, because I think that will be close to a top. So the next few weeks, and probably the next first weeks after the expansion, if no major sales come out, could be very interesting for the Plex market. So I'm definitely keeping a very close eye on that, and selling when I see a good opportunity to do so. That also puts my wallet at 10 billion liquid, which is pretty good, because I've also started buying some rigs for the Orca, some more preparations, and basically I feel like I am ready for the expansion coming out in 2 weeks, or pretty much on November 8th. It should all be really cool. Last thing that I need to plan is how am I going to handle the alpha account that I'm planning. Should I start it now, or should I start it on day one together with all the alpha other alpha characters that will probably come in at the expansion? I think I'll wait until then, just to make sure that if I make videos on that character, it's as accurate as possible and I don't like take a jump start in skills or anything like that. But yeah, looking really good for EVE Online, and I'm looking forward to a lot more. After EVE Online, we have the Elder Scrolls Online, and I'm having a lot of fun there. And honestly, I'm still keeping up with making 1 or 2 videos every day. I'm only playing a storyline, but I can already see the advantages of the 1 Tamriel patch, where all the content gets adapted to your level, or your level gets adapted to the content. It's pretty damn cool. It basically means that you can go straight for a pure questing experience. There is no need to grind, no need to go do side quests, no need to finish off a region before moving on to the next one. I'm just blasting through a main quest line with my new Khajiit character, and it is definitely a lot of fun. You can just focus on the story. It tells great stories. From time to time it'll dump you in on a little side quest to keep going on your main quest. But yeah, I'm very impressed so far with the One Tamriel patch. I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm having fun in the Elder Scrolls Online, and not in the usual pressured way that an MMO gives you. I think EVE Online is definitely my main game and my main MMO, and that's always been a barrier for me to start another MMO, especially one with a subscription. That is the main reason why I didn't start ESO. At the start I gave the open beta a try, it felt a little clunky as well, but a second subscription is not something that I'm willing to do. When it went buy to play, I jumped on it when it was on a nice sale on Steam. It's been a lot of fun experiencing at first, but you do have that grindy aspect of having to gear up, to level up, to catch up to the content that you're trying to do, and that put a little bit of a barrier there. It basically ended my Argonian at level 22. But now with the One Tamriel patch, I have to be honest, I can see myself keep playing this like a Skyrim game, like any other Elder Scrolls game, because you can just experience this in the same way. You can go anywhere, you can do anything. Some of the content is a bit more challenging, that's definitely fun, but on top of that, all the content is very rewarding. The rewards are adapted to your level, and you also don't overpower content. You don't all of a sudden start to blast through enemies in one shot or something like that. If they put a stronger frost troll, for instance, in your way, then you've got your work cut out trying to get through that frost troll, and that's going to be the case regardless of where you're doing the quest and regardless of your level. It makes for a very nice experience, and one I think that is both not as hard to get into as a usual MMO where you have to grind, level up, get to max level, and basically very much in line with a regular Elder Scrolls experience. I'm very impressed by the One Tamriel patch, and I look forward to sharing and playing more Elder Scrolls Online as well. Next up we have some Banished. I actually started a new game of Banished a few weeks ago, but I didn't talk about it because I was pretty unsuccessful at actually starting the new town. So this week I did start yet another town, and I am unfortunately maybe going back with the 12x13 pattern. It's a typical pattern that I found that works very well in Banished. If I compare it to the town that I was trying before, I was trying to combine all of the maximum sized food production, so like crop fields, orchards, and pastures of 20x20 and 15x15 for the other fields. And I'm not sure, it's maybe that they needed too much travel time, or that I put too many people on work in those fields and in those pastures and things like that, but I just couldn't gather the resources to stay in tune with everything that I needed. My trading didn't go so well because I didn't have enough reserves. I also tried to do like a maximum yield forest with a hunting lodge, gatherer's huts, everything that I needed, and then surround that a little bit by roads, but keep everything else clear. And again, I think it's the travel time that really becomes a problem when you're going for that very maximum yield. And yeah, it basically failed. I couldn't jumpstart, having to go for more resources. I had to travel too far to do that. My people got cold, they started getting hungry, and I was very dependent on good and lucky trades in order to actually be able to keep going. So I basically failed after a couple of days. I felt like I couldn't really continue this comfortably. I had to patch too many holes in the problems of my city, yeah, I basically said, okay, I'm gonna start another one, and this is a 12x13 that I started this week. Banished is this one game that I go to for relaxing, for just watching the game evolve through my planning, and it's very low effort, but it's I think really cool. One of my favorite games as well. Definitely one of my favorite indie games out there, just because of its very relaxed nature. So that's what I also did. Started a new city. In fact, I played pretty intensively for a couple of days, so it's already decently big with I think almost 200 people living in it. But the 12x13 pattern just works so well. It's easy to to expand both the amount of housing you need, the food you need. It's all very close together for both the storage, the housing and the food production, which I think makes it very efficient, and it's very expandable through a decently flat map, which is what I got pretty lucky with right at the center of the new map that I'm playing on. So yeah, bit more Banished. I'm not sure if I'll cover that actively in videos. I actually don't think so, but you still have a previous city that I've made, and I owe you guys like an overview video of that one, and I can definitely see myself continuing with the current city as well, which is a bit more focused on having more wood and forest productions in between, that it's not so super developed in like full of fields, full of housings. It's a bit more diverse, this one, and I definitely like it as well. After that we have the Elder Scrolls Legends, more maintenance basically, just keep on doing the daily quests, gather the gold. I've not even been spending that gold, so I still have quite a few packs to open, and that's going to come pretty soon, I think. But yeah, the Elder Scrolls Legends, honestly, for a collectible card game, which will usually force you to play every day, this one has a balance that is both a little bit up in complexity, I would say, from Hearthstone with the 2 lanes, with some of the mechanics. It's also younger, of course, so there's a bit less choice in cards and impossible builds, but on the other hand, keeping up with the free-to-play, doing the daily quests is a little bit down in effort, in my opinion, because you can gather those 3 quests, and some of them are just very combinable, which means that you usually can save up at least 2, if not 3 quests, and then just go through that in one play session. I think it's pretty damn cool. I am enjoying the Elder Scrolls Legends, although I'm not going hardcore. I've not played arenas in a couple of weeks, except when the quest asked for it, and I'm just basically doing this in a pretty casual manner. I could, on the one hand, I could stop at any time, which is maybe not so good for the developer, of course. I could say, well, all right, you know, this week I'm very busy, I'm just not going to bother with the Elder Scrolls Legends, but I'm hooked enough to keep the daily quests going, so I definitely want to keep up with those, and so from that perspective, it's pretty damn cool. And of course, if I want to, I can see myself play a bit of extra Elder Scrolls Legends, but I also have to be honest there, I can also see myself do one thing there, that is some arenas for extra rewards. I can't really see myself start grinding out ranked or anything like that, but of course, to be honest, I never did that in Hearthstone either. It's just not really the type of stuff that I want to invest in a card game. So yeah, the Elder Scrolls Legends, honestly, I think it's pretty cool if you can afford the time that it takes to play a CCG. And from my experience, it's only been Hearthstone really, my other experience, but from my experience, the Elder Scrolls Legends is definitely pretty generous in the amount of time that you need to spend in the game to be able to keep up with the minimal progression, I would say, of free-to-play daily quests players. So pretty cool. I'm definitely keeping this up so far, and I can see myself still keep going until a definite launch and until we get information on their expansion plans or their monetization plans and things like that. And finally we have Stellaris. This may come out of the blue a little bit, but Stellaris came out with a new patch. I think also some new DLC, which I haven't purchased yet. I just have never really found the time to play a lot of Stellaris, unfortunately, because I think it's a pretty cool game. I definitely planned to play a lot more than I actually did because of other stuff coming in between. But with the new patch, there is a multiplayer mode that came out, so you can basically start playing in co-op. And my brother has really been playing a lot of Stellaris. He enjoys the game a lot, buys all the DLC. For him it's an absolutely perfect game to play, and so he said, why don't we start a multiplayer game just to check it out, and that's exactly what we did. It's been a lot of fun so far, although we only played for one evening. I think we played for like 3 hours straight, so that definitely gives you a bit of an idea that it's a fun experience. It was a very long time since I've played any Stellaris, but yeah, with the help of course from my brother who's played a lot, I got the right tips and we got going pretty quickly. It was also a pretty interesting start. We have like a fallen empire right on top of us, which is probably going to be a problem. We also have some weird fortress in between us, which at some point we'll probably need to take care of, but that's going to take a lot of military power to do so. And we were basically harassed constantly by small pirates and by religious zealots from my faction. So that does allow you to do some pretty cool quests, find some cool tech, but it was pretty intense. We had to constantly manage our army, send them to the right places, work together right from the start. And yeah, Stellaris, honestly, it's a very cool game. I feel it's very unfortunate and I never really found enough time to spend in there. And now with Civilization 6 as well, that just came out, I was very torn between buying it or waiting for Civ 6. I'm going to wait, I haven't bought it yet. But those strategy games, I enjoy them a lot, but I also understand that they are huge time sinks. I mean, I could play for 4 hours every evening of Civilization, probably Stellaris as well, although it just never really came to that point. But that is of course also then going to come at a cost of other games, other things that I could do, and so far I just never really got into Stellaris all that much, which is, I think, just a mistake on my part, because it's a great game and I'm happy that my brother said, you know, we're gonna start a multiplayer here, let's just give it a go. So far it's been a lot of fun. We haven't really been doing that as like a series, because we've just basically been talking in Dutch to each other over Skype, but maybe if we have a lot of fun and if we can work together nicely in Stellaris, at some point maybe we'll make like a multiplayer series of us playing it, because it's definitely been a lot of fun on that first evening. It's just also a matter of course finding the time to do not just play Stellaris, but to play Stellaris together, and then to try to record that footage for you guys in a way that you can enjoy it as well. But so far, honestly, yeah, Stellaris, we're gonna try to do this multiplayer playthrough, probably mostly off screen, but I'll keep you guys up to date in the Sunday recaps for sure as we keep going, and who knows, maybe a series might grow out of that as well. Anyways, that's it for this Sunday recap then, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.